What's going on, everybody? It's Policies here, and welcome back to a brand new video. So, as we all know, Gary Johnson is the Libertarian presidential candidate trying to pretty much beat out Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump to become president. He was running anywhere from 8 to 11% in national polls, and he's been pretty much staying there for most of the election. He hasn't really gone down too much, like Jill Stein has dropped down 1% from 5%. And he hasn't really gone up too much. That's kind of where a lot of the moderate, supposedly should be Hillary supporters and some of the anti-Trump Republicans are going, is him. But let's be honest, Gary Johnson, which has been pointed out over and over again, really isn't the smartest man. And I would dare say that Donald Trump, a guy I don't support at all, would be a better president than Gary Johnson. Gary Johnson has no idea what he's ever talking about. He contradicts himself a lot regarding immigration, regarding domestic issues, economic issues, and as a lot of people pointed out, he's not really a true libertarian. He is actually quite pro-government. He's liberal in certain areas, but he's anti climate change. He doesn't really believe in climate change. He thinks it's just the weather. Check out some of those videos about him talking about that. Gary Johnson is just kind of an oddball. Unlike Donald Trump, he's a pretty hardcore conservative, but he also has some liberal strides to him. I kind of think that Donald Trump is more of a fake conservative, and Hillary Clinton is obviously, I would say, more of a left-leaning Republican, really left-leaning Republican, kind of. And really right Democrat, right? And of course, Jill Stein is just really far on the left, probably much further on the left than even Bernie Sanders, and she just can't get enough support. But Gary Johnson's a strange guy, and not because he's kind of an idiot and doesn't really know what's going on half the time, but the main issue I have with Gary Johnson, besides the fact that he's a fake libertarian, he's taking votes away from the two presidential candidates we should be looking at, Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. Gary Johnson has really no idea about foreign policy. As you guys remember, I believe he was on a major news network, and somebody kind of got him with a stump question and said, Gary Johnson, what do you think what's happening in Aleppo? And of course he stumbled, and he didn't know how to respond. He didn't even know what Aleppo was. Check out this clip just in case if you forgot.
If you were elected about Aleppo.
About
Aleppo.
And what is Aleppo?
You're kidding.
No.
Aleppo is in Syria. It's the epicenter of the refugee crisis.
Okay, got it.
Okay.
Well, with regard to Syria, I do think that it's a mess. I think that the only way that we deal with Syria is to join hands with Russia to diplomatically bring that at an end.
So as you can see, that was very embarrassing. He should know that, and I'm not saying that everybody should know what Aleppo is. The average guy on the street doesn't know Aleppo. They can't name probably any Syrian cities, and that's so. I mean, that's kind of okay. You know, I mean, a lot of people just, especially Americans, they're just not totally aware of what exactly is going on in Syria. They're more focused about their pocketbooks, and just like everybody else in the world, right? They're focused on their own lives. But if you're running for president, you should know that. You should know what's happening in Aleppo. You should know that it used to be a booming city, a big tourism city, a big trade center in Syria, and now it's been pretty much wiped out due to the 5.5-year civil war going on in Syria. I mean, rebels have attacked it. The Syrian government's attacked it. The U.S. and Russia supposedly accidentally bombed it. They say accidentally. And right now, that's pretty much a center in which World War III could possibly break out at. And he should have known that, and it's really sad he didn't know that. But recently, something big that came out was that Gary Johnson on Wednesday evening, he was on MSNBC and being hosted by Chris Matthews for some Libertarian forum, was asked by Chris who is his favorite foreign leader, right? And it was kind of funny how he responded. Go ahead and check it out.
Gary Johnson, Bill Weld, we got a bunch of people, 3 people desperately lined up, but I got a little lightning around here. This is where we have fun, or maybe make some news. Who's your favorite foreign leader?
Who's my favorite?
Just name anywhere in the country, any one of the continents, any country. Name one foreign leader that you respect and look up to. Anybody.
I was Shimon Peres.
No, okay, David, I'm talking about living. Go ahead. You do this anywhere, any continent. Canada, Mexico, Europe, over there, Asia, South America, Africa, name a foreign leader that you respect.
I guess I'm having an Aleppo moment in the former president
But I'm giving
of
you the
Mexico.
whole world.
I know.
Anybody in the world you like. Anybody. Pick any leader.
The former president of Mexico.
Which one?
I'm having a brain.
Name anybody.
The Ox.
Who's your favorite foreign leader? Get him off the hook. Name a foreign leader you respect.
He was terrific.
Any foreign leader?
Merkel.
Okay, Merkel. Okay, fine.
That was embarrassing. That was another, as he said, an Aleppo moment. And it's true. I mean, that's kind of shameful. I mean, there are some really good European leaders. There's some really good leaders in Asia that I think are doing a lot of good, right? I think President or Prime Minister Abe from Japan is trying his hardest to give rebirth to Japan's economy. And he's avoided major problems with China. And he's been building relationships with Southeast Asia and in the U.S. He could even talk about, of course, Angela Merkel, who his VP, Gary's VP, talked about. She's been a great leader. Really kept Germany's economy booming, has really been leading the whole European Union and really trying to integrate it. And she's helped out a lot regarding other countries' debt in that region and really fund the whole region. He could have talked about Justin, Canada's prime minister. You know, he's done a lot of great things. He's a great guy, very, very open-minded, very liberal. You know, there's just a list of people he could have listed from Europe, from Asia, and even in Latin America, and our buddy in Canada. And he didn't say that at all. I mean, it's like he doesn't even read about foreign leaders. I don't even know why he's running anymore. A man that's running for president should know who's good, who's bad, who's doing what overseas, why they're doing it. And that was pretty much his Sarah Palin moment when Sarah Palin was asked, what do you read? And she didn't even know how to respond.
When it comes to establishing your worldview, I was curious, what newspapers and magazines did you regularly read before you were tapped for this to stay informed and to understand the
I've read most of them, again, with a great appreciation for the press, for the media.
Like what ones specifically, I'm curious that you...
all of them, any of them that have been in front of me over all these years. I have a vast variety of sources where we get our news to. Alaska isn't a foreign country where it's kind of suggested. It seems like, wow, how could you keep in touch with what the rest of Washington, D.C. may be thinking and doing when you live up there in Alaska? Believe me, Alaska is like a microcosm of America.
That is just downright pitiful. So I would dare say he's just as dumb as Sarah Palin. He's worse than Trump. If this was a race between Gary Johnson and Donald Trump, my vote would go to Donald Trump. And it's not because I'm a big supporter of Donald Trump, but I think Donald Trump has a slight idea of what's going on in Syria. He at least he has some plan. Gary Johnson doesn't know what's going on. And at least Donald Trump can bullshit you and give you something. At least he'll try to figure it out. But Gary Johnson, I mean, this guy is a joke. He wasn't even a good governor when he was in New Mexico. Poverty went up. People got on food stamps more. This guy should drop out of the race. He should throw his support between either Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. And he should really move on and get out of politics. But my theory is this. My theory is that Gary Johnson he never plans on winning, right? This isn't a game plan to win. Third-party candidates usually know they're not going to win. Like Jill Stein is not going to win. She knows it. It's too late. Not enough support, not enough money, not enough awareness on her campaign. And Gary Johnson knows he's not going to win. He wasn't invited to the presidential debate, which he fairly and squarely lost to. He didn't have the 15%. That's a damn shame. Gary Johnson, I believe, is trying to prepare for a presidential launch against Hillary Clinton 4 years from now if she wins, and on the Republican ticket, because Republican ticket can get a lot more money than these third-party tickets. They're just not popular enough. They're not connected to big businesses enough to get the funding they need, right? And this guy's clearly not a populist like Bernie Sanders. You know, Bernie Sanders didn't need anybody's money. The people would give him money. Gary Johnson's just not that inspirational. He's not really for the people. I mean, this guy's bought off. He's paid for by a lot of companies, which I don't know why. They're wasting their money because this guy isn't going anywhere. But I think Gary Johnson is just trying to get his name out. And I wouldn't be surprised if some of these moves were just or just on purpose almost, or just to kind of get his name out there, because he's a moderate and he might be able to pose a threat towards Marco Rubio or Ted Cruz for the Republican ticket to go against Hillary Clinton if she wins, which I think she will win on November 8th. That's what he's doing. He's just getting his name out there. But he's really a pathetic candidate. He should have stayed as governor or retired, because even when he's governor, he was screwing things up. This guy just needs to get out of government. He's embarrassing. He's a fake libertarian. He doesn't know what's going on in the world. He doesn't know who the good foreign leaders are. He doesn't know what's happening in Syria. This guy is a moron. And I think we can all agree on that. So if you guys like this video, go ahead and give it a like. Slap a like on it. Subscribe below for more videos like this to get a progressive, a practical progressive view on what's going on in a political system in America. And come back again tomorrow for a brand new video. I hope you guys have a good day, and peace.